The Wise Oak, a story generated by AI. Juniper was a quaint, quiet village nestled between rolling hills and lush meadows. A small town with humble people. In Juniper, there lived a boy named Birch. A short stump of a young boy, he was known for his curious nature and his compassionate heart. But Birch, like any child, sometimes forgot about the important things. One warm summer day, when the sun painted the sky in hues of gold, a visitor arrived in the village. His name was Mr. Cedar. He was tall and appeared very rigid. His twig-like arms were brown and slightly hairy. With a gentle smile and a moderately spacious gait extended by his walking stick, he seemed to tell stories with every step. Mr. Cedar had traveled far and wide seeking knowledge and wisdom from all corners of the world. Intrigued by this newcomer, Birch decided to strike up a conversation with him. However, as he approached, he could hear some of the village children giggling and whispering like bushes shivering in the wind. They thought that Mr. Cedar was way too old to be of any interest. Well, that seems a bit harsh, Birch thought to himself. How would they know? He reasoned. I'll go and see for myself. Ignoring their remarks, Birch greeted Mr. Cedar with a polite, almost exaggerated bow. He made it a point to be seen by the others. Hello, sir, he said confidently. My name is Birch, and I hope you find our village to your liking, Birch said, extending his hand. Mr. Cedar's eyes twinkled with appreciation as he shook Birch's hand warmly.
Thank you, young man. Your kindness is a warm welcome indeed, he replied.
Over the next few days, Birch and Mr. Cedar spent time together wandering through the village, visiting the meadows, and sitting under the shade of the great oak, the pride of Juniper Village, a tree that stood in the heart of the village square. Under that wise oak, Mr. Cedar shared his fascinating tales and life experiences, filling Birch's heart with wonder. As Birch listened to the stories of Mr. Cedar's adventures, he realized that Mr. Cedar has so much knowledge, it's like he had a story for everything. But stories weren't the only thing going on. The children continued to tease Birch, questioning why he spent so much time with an old man. Every day they would tease more and more. Although Birch was confident on the first day, it got harder and harder to keep his courage. One day, as they were sitting under the wise oak, the whispers of the other children grew louder. Feeling a pain of embarrassment, Birch hesitated to join Mr. Cedar for their daily rendezvous. He watched Mr. Cedar sit under the wise oak. Oh, what am I going to do? He pouted. As he guiltily stared at the oak, it seemed to sense his turmoil. A gentle breeze blew through the oak's leaves. The rustling shook lightly, almost as if it were whispering to Birch. It seemed to say something that Mr. Cedar told him more than once. Respect and wisdom are intertwined like the roots of a tree. Embrace the lessons of age, and your heart will grow like the branches of this oak. The tree's words resonated deep within Birch's soul. Mr. Cedar's my friend. I'm not going to let them make me feel bad about something that makes me feel good. As days turned into weeks, the other children began to notice Mr. Cedar and Birch constantly smiling. There was always a lot of laughing. It seemed to go on for hours. They started to see that maybe being respectful to elders wasn't as bad as it seemed. If Mr. Cedar was too old to be of any interest, sure seemed like Birch was doing just that, being interested. Maybe showing respect wasn't just about politeness. Is it possible Birch was gaining something from his aged friend? and what could they learn from the older people that they knew? Time went on, and the village soon transformed into a place where elders began to be paid more attention to. After much consideration, they were highly regarded, and children eagerly sought their advice and stories. And at the heart of it all was Birch, who became a bridge between generations, fostering a sense of harmony and unity in the community. More conversations were had under that big oak than ever before. It was as if everything was connected through that wise oak. It was as if it participated in the new culture just as much as the community did. It's as if wisdom filtered through that tree. The wise oak seemed to spread its nature to everyone. As years passed, Mr. Cedar's visits to the village became less frequent. The wise oak continued to stand tall, a reminder to all that respecting one's elders was a cornerstone of a compassionate and understanding society. And so, the village of junipers, rolling hills, and lush meadows thrived, where every child learned the precious lesson of being respectful to their elders, and the spirit of kindness flourished like the leaves of the wise oak tree.